Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kirby and I'm a mobile mechanic, used car dealer and just a general petrol head with a few projects that haven't been finished for a while. Like any good petrol head has a project car. I've got a few, none of them are really started, none of them are finished. But today I'm not a mobile mechanic, although the weather is very nice. Woohoo! I've got this Peugeot 2008 up here for a wet belt. Now, I did do an alternator on this a little while back and the customer wanted the wet belt done, but I think we did a service on it first because she was just saving up for the wet belt. So yeah, we're going to get stuck into this today. But before we start with the wet belt, there is a misfire, or that's what I've been told. Now, I pulled this into the unit last night as I was locking up and going home, and it was just jerking away, and I'm not sure if it was a misfire. I know these 3-cylinder engines can be, a bit rough even when they're all working, so maybe once one cylinder is out, it's really, really bad. So we're going to have a quick look at that before we start the wet belt. Hopefully it's nothing to do with the actual wet belt breaking up and causing issues. Right, let's dive into it. Right, so we've got the top don out, and if we come down to the engine, we've got a misfire on cylinder 1. But also, we've got this catalytic converter loss of efficiency. Now, I don't know how long this has been misfiring for, so hopefully it hasn't damaged the cat. So we're going to do a bit of diag and see if we can get any live data up. Oh, I don't know what bloody... let's just go for the first one. So we actually haven't got misfire detection on here, which isn't ideal. We might have to go back into OBD. So if we come back to the first menu, go into EOBD, OBD2, we might get some data up on here. Right, nothing in here either, so we will just have to go a little bit old school with it. So I'm going to change this coil pack. Oh, there goes my light. I'm going to change this coil pack to over here, this spark plug to over here, and then we'll see if we get another misfire. Right, I suspect, quite possibly, it's the catalytic converter that's faulty. Why is it faulty though? That's the problem. I was just running it up, unplugged each coil pack, and yeah, it wanted to die each time. So, I didn't feel a misfire. When you rev it, it doesn't feel it. Yeah, there's just this jerky motion, and then we've got on here some more live data to back it up. Catalyst monitor bank 1 fail. The live data, short trim and long-term trims all over the place. So, but I'm going to dig into this wet belt first and see what we find. Right, especially when I'm up the unit, I've got my 2 trolleys. So I get a socket tray out, a few ratchets, a few bits and bobs I might need. Another trolley just to put parts and other bits and bobs on. And then, yeah, we're going to get started. So, inlet manifold's got to come off here. This is the first one I'm doing on this engine, so bear with me. But I don't think they're that difficult, to be honest. Inlet manifold off, airbox, cam cover off. There's a cover on the side, crank pulley, usual stuff for a cat timing belt. But yeah, I'll show you along the way. And that is one inlet manifold up. So I just had to take the bolts out the engine mount, support it with a jack, just pull it forward a bit, and then it sort of just slid around this way, bit of jiggery pokery, and yeah, that's out now. So I think what we can do is put the engine mount back on, get this cam cover off, and yeah, then we can start locking it up. What's not particularly nice about this job is There is a lot of rat droppings, or mice or whatever, and it does stink a little bit down here, so hopefully they haven't chewed anything, but at the minute it looks okay, to be honest. Right, so there's 1, 2, 3 holes here with some bolts in. They've just got all rat mess and crap in it, so trying to get the hoover in there, but that's not really working. So what I might do is get a bit of red rubber grease on that stick and see. Blech. Right, and if anybody says, why didn't you just get an airline and blow it all out? Well, I don't particularly want rat and or mice, poo and wee just into the atmosphere, breathing it all in. But I think all of these bolts are out now. I'm pretty sure. Oh, there's one more little bugger. One, these 3. Right, I think that is now free. There we go. Is there something still connected at the back? It feels a bit. There we go. There we have it. There we've got the top half of the engine exposed. The belt doesn't look too bad. I'm just going to get the little tool out that measures it. We've got this little tool here, and this just goes over the belt. It's quite a tight fit, but it does fit. Now when these belts get worn, this little tool with the 2 prongs won't fit over the belt. So enter. There we go. So this one moves quite freely. There's a little bit of side to side there. This one, it does. Ooh, it does go on there, but it is tight. There's a little bit of resistance there, but that belt's not too bad. So we're catching it early. Let's get it timed up. Right, so I've spun the engine round, and you see these little marks here on the cam pulleys. They've got to be around that sort of position, and then we've got to take the car up in the air and get the crank locking tool in. So I'll show you that now. So this is the little tool, and it goes up here just behind the exhaust. There's a little hole just up there, but because it's open to the elements, yeah, you can see there it's not going into the hole. So what I'm going to try and do is just drop that in my face, get something up there just to try and clean it out a little bit. I'm not sure what yet, but I'll give it a go. Right, there we go, tool is in. Basically all I did was get my little pick with a long thing, scraped away all the whatever, corrosion, and then put a bit of engine oil just on the end of this, and that is now all locked up. If we get on the crank here, that is locked in place now, so that engine won't turn. Now hopefully with that all locked up, should be able to, oh, there we go, get the tool on, locks into the cams, and then I've just got to use a couple of the cam cover bolts to lock that in place, and then lock this one up, and yeah, then we can start getting this side off. Right, I've gone ahead and taken the auxiliary belt off. We actually replaced that when we done the alternator, so that's in next to new condition. Next off, we're gonna whiz this crank pulley off. There's a belt that runs a water pump there as well, and then you've got to get this little cover here off, and yeah, we've also got to get this sump off as well, which we've got a new one of, so we'll drain the oil as well. Now with that cover off, we can just see the tensioner and the guide roller. Got to take the sump off, and then get the belt off, and yeah, we'll clean up all of this mess. Okay, there's been oil leaking from above somewhere. Possibly the cam cover gasket, but we've got all new gaskets there. Right, that is the tensioner and the bottom pulley removed. That sits in there, and then that sits in there. So essentially it sits in there like that. This piece comes out here, and this gear here, that comes out up. That comes out up, over, and out of that gap there. Right, now we can go up, take this belt off, and then we've got to take this sump off just to check the strainer, you know, because it could be blocked up. Technically speaking, you don't have to take it off, I guess, because you can just change the belt and then forget about this, but we like to do a proper job here. Right, new filter in, drop the oil. Doesn't seem to be loads in there, to be honest. Anyway, we'll let that drain off, go up the top, get the belt out, take the sump off. Halfway there. Right, if that is all done properly, we should be able to get this belt up here.
A few moments later.
It's just this last bit getting up. Can't see a thing, to be honest. My eyesight is very good, but I need more carrots. Can't see in the dark. It should just come up. There we go. Closer look at this belt now. You can see all them cracks starting to appear. Look at that, if I squeeze that, that is going. Let's take it back up again. Get that sump off. Right, so I've removed all of the 8mm bolts that hold the sump in. I'm just going to put one back in by a few threads, because now we get to whack it with a rubber hammer. Now I have got a new sump. This one isn't too bad. It probably could be used again depending on how easy it comes off. But it's always best just to get a new sump. They're not that expensive. Anyway, let's go. And this is why I've got a new one, because that is solid. Oh yeah. There we go. I think that's coming. You can hear the tone difference in it. That should leave it down now. Let's get that one remaining bolt out. Make sure my drain pan is directly underneath the sump. Voila. And actually, I think there's a few bits in there. The actual sump itself, well, let me try and get you in focus. I've got oily hands. So yeah, the actual sump and inside the sump is quite clean. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Let's take this strainer off and have a look. Right, so this is it out. I'll just shed some light on there, bring that a bit closer. There are some bits of belt in there. Now, that isn't really that bad for a belt, to be honest. See plenty of light through it, it's not a problem. Like that, you can see it a bit more clearly. Ignore my phone going off over there. But we'll give that a quick clean out, get it all back together again. Cleaned up the sump area, so that's all nice and clean now. We'll wipe this oil off once we come to put the sump on. But look at this little baby sump. I mean, I got this off of eBay. The seller was really good. I think I ordered this at about 9 o'clock at night, and he texted me saying, what is the reg, just let me make sure I've got the right one. And yeah, sent it out next day. And he's even put in some sealant gasket maker that he recommends, I guess. Yeah, and if you've watched my channel before, I've had a couple of leaky transit sumps before, so we'll give this stuff a try, I guess. That is the new belt, tensioner and idler pulley on. We've got all of that gubbins on. That isn't tight, and we've got a new crankshaft seal to go on, so we're just going to get that on, and then we can just start putting it all back together. The engine turned over twice now. The bottom pin is in for the crank or the flywheel, so hopefully, if this is all in time, there we go, that fits in just right. There we go. Right, we can get this all put back together. It's the next day. Got a bit carried away yesterday getting this all back together, but it's all back together as it was when it first came in. I have replaced all 3 spark plugs and this coil pack because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but all Peugeots, cylinder 1 is gearbox flywheel side. So, about to find out if it starts and if it runs any better. Let's have a look. We're looking good. Right, that is it. Done. Took it for a test drive. Drives okay. I think it could do with a gearbox service. The gear changes are a bit lumpy. But initially, when I was just trying to move it around the yard, it was spluttering and then, yeah, it was just dreadful. So, yeah, good repair. Job done. Hope you've all enjoyed this content, this repair. And you'll see me very shortly on the next video, which I'll be filming right now. So, subscribe, give the video a like, give the video a comment, share it with your friends, and I'll see you on the next one.